last year. Now they release it to the public. How much was spent?
Eugene Lenn is the chief of office staff to former President George
in the court.
So our guest this morning. Eugene, you can wear small. You on the radio, sir?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, West Point.
Chief, no, you're not on West Point. You on OKFM, sir.
Okay.
Eugene Nagbe Eugene Nagbe is the chief of staff to former President George Weah. He is here as our guest. Now, is there any difference between the case involving Brandon Samuka and the Tours case in the context of in the context of the court and others saying, well, yeah, he argued that former president said he may have authorized him to do something, but you can take all orders from your former boss if it is not a good order to take. Is there anything different?
Big one. First thing, Brandon Samuka was accused of using private money.
Okay.
The soldiers' pension or whatever name you want to call it. Tours is being accused of using government money for national security purpose. Two different things. You cannot take if they men working with me, his pension are taken. President can authorize me to take private money, but the president can authorize you to take government money and use it for government purpose. That's a big difference there. Okay. So totally different. So all those who are drawing the analogy, they know the difference, but they, people just want to see Tours in handcuff and God forbid. The same way they start lying, they got on sanction. I listened to the U.S. ambassador who said that sanction is a political tool. They use a political tool to damage people's lives. Koji. One day, Veda just jump on radio. Koji did this, Koji K. So now, you know the guy who stabbed herself 9 times to death? It's impossible, right? Somebody can juke themselves 9 times until they die. The first juke in the heart, the lady for who business Oscar was convicted, she killed herself because
I mean the Shala Musu.
Shala, but what we say now? They say she stabbed herself 9 times because the CDC government, the police professionally were out investigated for a culprit who was convicted. And the first thing President Baga did was to free the convict. So it mean the girl killed herself.
But she stabbed herself 9 times. You say that?
But who free Oscar?
The court.
Look,
but the court, the matter went to the Supreme Court, Eugene.
And the Supreme Court free her. Okay, so me the girl.
When did you get to know Sam Gay?
I've been knowing him for a bit.
So
listen, no.
One minute,
personally, right?
Personally, or as an official of the government in the EPS.
No, but when I knew him, I'm an official in the EPS. So I was asking you whether you asked me whether I know him personally.
Okay, let me go direct now.
I understand the question.
You were saying Sam Gay is incompetent. When Sam
unprofessional.
When Sam Gay walked in the early 1 minute, sir. Yeah, you can use all those ones. When Sam Gay walked in the early regime that you worked in, was he competent then?
You say what?
When Sam Gay walked in the early regime, he was the head of the EPS too.
He had supervision, but what happened in the end? He had supervision when he was before even going to EPS. He was supervised by FUMA. So he has supervision. But now he's unsupervised. So his unprofessionalism has come to the fore. What kind of EPS director will just see your car and say, oh, the car, he took it away? It's apparent. You have no capacity to know who owns a car and who doesn't own it. I mean, the president is not protected well. Because if the EPS director has so politicized himself, that he focuses more on the former president that he also supposed to protect according to law. That every day he withdrew. He does a lot of things. Do you know that in Sam Gay's room, he got one guy came from there to us. One guy came from his room and to us. He got the picture of President Weah. He got a bullet point at. Like a target. If you want to target somebody, you put the person picture, then you put a target that you now shoot the person.
You said one guy came from a room
and to us.
And you want all to believe that kind of thing, you did?
Hey, man.
You're supposed to tell her to take picture.
You know me, I can lie.
You're supposed to tell her to
take picture. First, they will bring a picture.
They'll bring a picture.
We can tell
so he got
and that's generally like you. He got a politician.
Our president, we have we're competent.
We'll show
you. Just want to say something to
no, but that's on the side. I'm just telling you his mental state. He's infatuated in a negative way with President Weah.
Okay.
Because of that, it's showing how he acts.
Thank you.
He's on Facebook. What kind of EPS are you? And say, the former president walked away with car.
Can we hold you there? Did he write on Facebook on the EPS issue statement? I think I saw the EPS statement.
He put on Facebook first, then to fix it small, they made statement.
No, but
EPS statement. I said capital, publish it.
Who is in capital?
Our reaction.
Where?
I'll send it to you right
now. No, you didn't send or any copy, Eugene.
I'll send it to the media.
Let's get the record straight. Which media?
I'll send it to you personally.
But not even OK FM.
Oh, but if I send it to you right now, you're that. You still get it.
We are on public radio.
News is always news.
So apologize to honor you.
No, I send it to you. I mean the media.
Okay.
I don't know you individually.
Okay, we'll take it. Let's take call 0777 700-995-0555-026-995. Lenn Eugene Nagbe is Chief of Staff to former President Josh Weah. He's our guest on the show today. We are talking about national security and other issues. Let's take our first call. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
From MTA, the Milk and Honey Ground, I'm Daniel Philly.
My man, let's hear you back.
Politics are lacking more and not cutting and fretting. It is frustrating, embarrassing, heartbreaking, temperamenting, and devastating to hear someone who's still in political doubt about how power was snatched out of their hands. To be saying things, right? But we know that an opposition will not come and praise sitting government, always. But when you come with unconscious political marine kingdom rhetoric to the public...
Oh, Bosman, please speak in a way that will understand. When I start asking you like Julia to spare some money, will that be easy? Yeah, gentlemen.
Clarence, I want to, Eugene Lenn is noted for, saying some things that he doesn't know about, actually.
Okay, sir. Thank you. We'll take the next call. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thanks for this great opportunity. This is BG Peninsula. Let me say good morning to
Jible Nyanswa, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Jible.
And former Commissioner Nagbe. Clarence, when it's real, we should say that because it is all about Liberia. It's not about individual or political party. And from a Facebook page that former President Sully, former President Weah, they are major stakeholders when it comes to making peace and decisions in our country. And let me use the opportunity to appeal to President Wakai. Call the both of them and you discuss and move forward with our country. You see the great United States of America. When things are tough and difficult, they call Obama, they call George Bush and the rest of that to discuss the issue of America. It's about America. It's not about individuals. So it's about Liberia. So President Wakai should do everything possible, get over to former President Weah and former President Sully, so that we can move our country forward.
Okay, Jible, thank you. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Yeah, are you there?
I'm Johnson calling from Bekube Avenue.
Johnson, let's hear you, my brother.
It's very disappointing to hear our people talking like that on the public radio.
What's disappointing about it?
What disappointing is the mayor is just like shouting, he's not giving you chance to asking the question. And they have question, but he want to hijack your show. But I just want to let you know that we want to the former president engage the media. You should say the by President Johnson said engage the media when she left power. That's just where engage the media. That is asking a hard question. You shouldn't say the by this Eugene Lenn to come and be causing us.
I can take that. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And let me say good morning to our chief of with you, and I do join you from district number 70, we are saying.
Okay, Pastor.
I did listen to Honorable Language Good,
As Honorable Nagbe know me, I'm one of those supporters because in 20 months one.
Okay.
So yet I have tried all possible means to reach out and things for the topic. But you see, this administration we are in, this administration of Honorable Baka, there is no way Mr. Baka will call for reconciliation because his heart is not clear for the former president. And there is no way you can do things without the notion of the former president for the country to go forward. I'm just sorry for the Security Council seat for which that we have been selected to be in our seat. And today, looking at our country, looking at those radical laws, because I will stood in the ring, we fought for them. We shared our tears. How after them for those people, they are not doing the necessary thing for us. We are seeing our country yesterday was praised for democracy. Today, they are being disgraced.
Okay, sir. Let's take you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Karen.
Yeah.
Let me say good morning to my senior brother, senior man, Mr. Nagbe. Now, here's the brother Sabu Rasta joining you from Point 4 to be festival this morning in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Thank you, our cabinet chair, Eugene Lenn Nagbe, for your brilliant deliberation this morning. You really make my day this morning, senior brother. That's the kind of genius we always like to see on the radio to inform our people. You know what, Karen asked the question about if our president is concerned about the impact of the legislature. I want to inform Sion Brother Karen this morning that yes, President Wia is deeply concerned about the impact of the House of Legislature.
Okay. The House of Representatives, you know. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Kelvin Kennedy calling from Front Street.
Okay, Kelvin.
Yeah, I want to tell Mr. Nagbe thank you this morning. But I want to say something. You know, for this government, certain things they did to some people that I knew personally, they just put a star. You see, the accident that happened at the Unified Headquarters last time, during the celebration, 4 of my real brothers, one died in the process. The battle want they commit to party, they just put them a star. They don't want to know anything about them. The people don't die. He was trying to lay his straight in the garage. Happily went to that party headquarters. He found a demand there. This government have put my brothers there aside. They are going through pain. They are going through struggle. They are going through it because of what we went through at that party headquarters. That alone is making me to hate this government. Okay. They're making me to hate this government because the young children haven't done nothing in the future yet for them to go through this any kind of pain they are going through. And that he died. He was the only child for his family. Why is it this government and treat people like this?
Okay, sir. Let's take you here. We can take like 2-3 more, then we'll go back to Mr. Nagbe. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Clarence. And good morning to Honorable Eugene Nagbe. And good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia. Clarence, this is J. Jefferson Chesson. And I call and not
former
just call
Assistant Minister Chesson.
Thank you for the recognition, Clarence. And I call not only to express my deepest concern about the security of our state regarding the information that have been released by Honorable Nagbe. If this government has demonstrated so much hate for the former president by their actions, that means our country is in a deep security mess. And this is something that we need to correct. This is politics. It's not war. The life of the former president should be protected at all times, and it shouldn't be taken lightly. If this EPS commander or head of the EPS has demonstrated this action to show in his bedroom that the former president is a target, he should be arrested or should be dismissed from the EPS.
You think what the man say somebody saw away in the man's bedroom?
Oh,
What they can't bring the picture to the man.
That means it's true. But the man has told you that if he denies it, he will provide the...
Jefferson, how you say because Eugene said it, that means it's true?
Yes.
But he has said on your radio. He has said on your radio. He has said on your radio that if he denies it, you will produce the photograph.
Okay, so, thank you. Let's take the final call. You didn't answer me to you. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Mr. Let's get your final caller. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Good morning to your studio guests as well. This is Momoto from Painesville.
All right, Momo, let's hear you.
You know, I listened to your studio guests. I mean, talking, I feel to say you want to hijack the show, but I think you
Just made a comment you want to make, Chief.
But,
make your comment, sir. Are you still there, sir? I'm not cutting you off. I'm saying make your comment. Hello? Chief.
Hello?
Yeah, you stay there. I said, go ahead and talk. Oh, okay. Out of courtesy, I see Deputy Information Minister Daniel Sano trying to reach out to me. Can I take you? Yes, I will take you. Out of courtesy, I repeat. But if you're not answering Daniel, then I gotta let you go. Okay, let's go back to Eugene. Daniel, if you call, I'll pick you out of courtesy, like I said, but you're not answering, so I gotta let you go. Mr. Nagbe, you're listening to the callers.
Yes, I want to say a few things because by some strange reason, you managed to cut the time off for me to, because I asked you to come on the show so I can speak about some of the national issues. Okay. You know, the other day I saw my friend Sarah Sigbe.
But I cut time off. The time going by.
No, but you're talking more than me. Am I cutting the time
No,
off?
it's not true. You're not even giving me a chance to ask you a question. You're making flower all day. So I just looking at you.
So
let's hear you.
Yes. And maybe we'll have to extend the show. Because we have to
it can be today, sir. I got Senator Finley coming out now.
I can tell him.
I made a promise to him, sir.
Yeah, but I can make new promise to him.
I want to take him out now, sir. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well,
I
can get 30 minutes.
Go ahead, sir.
National issues.
Can you
Don't worry about that.
Can you please go ahead, sir? We got
one of the issues that I wanted to speak about here, and I send you some of my talking points, was about people claiming, you know, there's a theft of vision. The United Party is trying to steal President Weah's vision. Why do I say this? My friend Sarah Segbe, when he just took over recently, fair enough, you know, the president has a right to appoint. And then he went to cut the ribbon at a project. He wrote on Facebook that, one of our first things that our achievement is to cut the ribbon, to turn this place over to the University of Liberia for students.
You mean the Fisheries College?
Yes. Amen. He wants to tell me that. He couldn't even say, out of professional courtesy, that, okay, y'all kick Emma out. But this project, my predecessor did 1, 2, 3. It wouldn't take anything away from you. But it's what Cyrus did is 10% or less of the general malaise that has grappled the Unity Party. Look at the Southeast Road, Sikram, and I want you to check it out. The funding for Ganta to Sacré-Blier to Tapeta. In fact, the construction work of the road already started before President Baga took over. Before the elections, in fact. Then Tapeta to the Fishtown Road. Secured projects already active. But because the Unity Party has no projects initiated by themselves, the stealing vision, the stealing President Weah, they're attempting to steal President Weah's vision. To say, oh, we're doing this, we are doing this one, we are doing that. Projects that you criticize. They criticize the RIA road. They criticize it when the project started, and it was President Weah who said, since the start, we need to fix this road. In spite of COVID, and a lot of people fail to realize that COVID took 2.5 years away from President Weah. Yet we didn't complain. But in spite of COVID, he started these major transformational projects. The UP has a responsibility to say, even though we condemn this project, yeah, what we did. Yeah, what President Weah started. In fact, the project has gone almost 60% before they came in. The Lofa Road, that they still find a way to start. The Southeast Road, I remember stopping Tapeta to speak to the workers. It was ongoing. So give credit, but they want to steal vision. vision rogues.
They also argued that in Lofa Road and other projects are projects. Some of the projects, President, we are also inherited and continue, and so they inherited some.
Oh, thank you for helping me. So the first thing he did, he helped President. Do you know that he broke grounds when he was senator?
I was in Banga.
He joined President Salif to break grounds. President Baga boycotted it. That time he was packed wheelbarrow. So he said,
boycotted? Do you know whether you were ever invited there?
Yes, I know. I was in the government, I was minister. I can show you copy of the invitation. He boycotted, he did not go. But, excuse me.
Go ahead.
A project to Lofa. You think President Salif wouldn't? She invited all the ministers, all the entire government, and the legislators. That's our president. We are went there. Luckily, he and former senator, former vice president Joe Howard were the only ones that are there. So she said, help me to break ground. And Lofa Road started. And then he went to, when we went to UAE, why I say, oh, the president traveling, because every time he traveled, he brought tangibles. That's how we got the extension from Badia and the Arab lenders to extend the road. It's there, it's all right. Just Google it, Badia, Arab lenders, Liberia. But my issue with some of you journalists,
I mean, everything you say, 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. Everything you say, former assistant minister Benedict Colbert said he's saying things.
Okay, but I didn't listen to him. Yeah. So you as the journalist now, you have to hold these people feet to the fire. Look at the hospital in Babolu. Do you know that just because it was a project that President Weah begged his friend in Abu Dhabi for the underfunding the activities of it. But for me, I told somebody today, so you're not doing enough propaganda. The propaganda is not needed because the Liberian people are feeling the pinch.
What happened to the hospital in Babolu?
It's being totally underfunded with the hope that it will crash. But the people of Babolu can speak. That's why I said we don't need to do a lot of propaganda. Why would you do propaganda when the reality is?
When you say underfunded, what you mean? Government not doing anything there?
They're trying to make the place to break down. Yes, I'm making a category comment, and I got to jump from place to place. You asked me about the former president's perspectives on the House saga. When all these things happen in the House, the speaker wrote the police before the fire, during the fire, after the fire. When he went to the police headquarters, he said, these people were in the building. I wasn't there. And the place got burned. People say, the place. How does burning the Capitol benefit the speaker? How does it benefit him? But it benefits the other side because people will think they are. So have you called one of them? Have you called Koga or Colère to say, you guys were also in the place when the thing happened? Have they interviewed them? No.
Do you want the police to call people because Eugene wants it that way?
No,
Is that how you want the police to operate?
No, I want the police to call people because they should be professional. When there is an incident, a crime committed, you investigate all of those associated, even remotely, and question them.
But the police said that's what it's doing.
But if you segregate it, so no member of the majority black got anything to
But if you have information that people in the majority
I'm
black,
telling you, the speaker,
you should have assisted the police.
Because Kofa assisted them. He double assisted them. He wrote letters to them. Not just verbally assisting. He wrote them. And when he went there physically, he said, can you people ask this man what he was doing in the place 11 o'clock? The place got burned a few hours later, I think 3 hours later. But the last representative that was there, you asking a question. Abu Kamara, who was in Babiata, Desi Bayoko, that the man they call.
So why do you think they did that? The police argued that it did that because of tip-off.
It's okay. I'm taking it off now. Can they call Koga? So that tip-off can be there and grab people. Can they call Koga? I'm taking it off now. Koga was in the building. Samuel Koga was the last representative in the building up to 11 a.m. The proof, and the one proof, the guy we are getting Lone Star call They can check people's phone.
What do you say to people who believe? We'll be talking on the Senator Philip Kynes. Okay. What do you say to people who believe that they
shake my hand because Senator Philip, you will wait.
He 5 minutes away from here.
Don't worry about him.
No, I gotta take my guess.
But if he comes,
yeah. So what do you say to people who?
That's why what's up. This conversation is important.
Eugene, this is radio. You are a communicator. Why are you not giving me chance?
I'm trying to communicate.
This is unfair, Eugene. It's unfair. What do you say to people who believe that the CDC play a role in this whole impasse? Most of your lawmakers were at the front liners against your party's offer.
No, not most, some. And those who connived with the illegal action were punished by the CDC. But why don't you ask the United Party people whether they punish their members who took part in the illegality? Did they punish them? The other man said, "Oh, President, we should come and engage the press." You know who need to engage the press? President Bouaka. He need to come and engage the press and explain to them why the country is suffering, why he's imposing new taxes on the poor people, why the country is in a dire state. The ECOWAS have to come and say, fix it thereabout. And yet, you're still asking the former president. If you want him to help you run the country, then say it. But you can't be asking, oh, the former president. They blend up politically, they call him. The president encourages ad hominem attacks on the former president. Even when Prophet Key and Yeke were cursing him, former president, we always said it's not the way to proceed. Keep the discourse civil. But when they don't move him. Yes. So the cousin, this new man, he can stand behind all the people that have been cussing before. Prophet Kiyo, the Yeke, or who the president go and shake the hand into act with. When he met Yeke the last time, he said, cussing president is not the best way to proceed. He encourages all seditions not to resort to invectives.
Okay,
Thank you.
To
keep the discourse 2 seconds. To keep the discourse civil. And this is what he will continue to do. But the onus of running the country better rests upon President Bouaka.
Thank you,
and let them concede that they started nothing new. All the projects we've paid for is what they are continuing.
Eugene Nagbe is Chief of Staff in the office of former President George Weah. He was our guest. Let's take a break. When we come back, Bassa Senator Besonga Finlay is going to be here.
Never gonna fall. You've been learned so many times. You've been let down by all your friends. Don't lose your mind. Keep trying so hard. Some pretend they love you when you have. But when you're down and laugh at you, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. As long there is life, there's got to be hope. Oh, keep on trying, forever and ever. Keep on trying, don't give up. Keep on trying, oh, keep on trying. No matter how hard it may be, keep on trying. There's no easy way. Keep on trying.
Okay. We'll take Bezonga Finlay very shortly, former pro tem of the Liberian Senate. We'll usher him in, Grand Bassa County Senator Bezonga Finlay. The whole road business, yeah. You can remember during the WEA regime. Let me bring down the music. You can remember during the WEA regime, right? There was a big discussion in the country about roads. At that time, Lafayette Giddings was a very good person who used to come all the time, and he used to challenge the CDC on most of the statistics and the things the CDC would say about the roads. What I think we need to do now is to move on and launch an inquiry into the whole road issue. How many kilometers of road George Weah government constructed? What did they leave from where the Unity Party is picking up? I will reach out to the Ministry of Public Works. I think it's a public record they should be able to give us, so that we have an appreciation. The last time Minister Benedict Colbert came here and he said the Unity Party is doing nothing new in the context of road. He says most of these roads, the people say they're building are roads, either we signed the contract or we sourced the funding. The contract was just about to start, and then they are continuing. So we need to reach out so that the public, you see, the reason why we invite these government officials on radio and other people is for the public to have an appreciation of what the issues are. So we'll reach out to public works because Eugene Lenn Nagbe toy own, the other people can't, they toy own. We'll reach out to the Ministry of Public Works to say, hey, wait a minute, you know, how many kilometers of road did George Weah government constructed? Where did they stop? Where is Unity Party picking up? But we have in our studio Milton Bezonga Finlay. He used to be pro tem of the Liberian Senate. In 2014, Senator Kapi, then working with the Military Development Arm, would defeat a sitting pro tem, and the news are all over the place. Bezonga Finlay patiently waited. And then in 2023, it's like he was saying, you've been keeping it for me. Thank you for holding it, but I've come back to my job. And so the Bassa people put him back. So he's now current senator of Grand Bassa County, a second time senator of Grand Bassa. Senator Finlay, I'd like to say good morning. It's good to have you. Thanks for coming. I know we're always back to back. Every time either you're out of the country or you're busy, but it's good you agreed to come here today.
Good morning, Clarence, and good morning to your audience. And thank you for having me.
How is everything, Senator Finlay? How is life, by the way?
Well, life is, as if I would describe it, I think it's between a high place and a rock.
Okay.
Sometimes they are good and sometimes they are bad, but most of the time we look at and listen to what the citizens are saying, okay, how they are faring, and based on that, we know that things are a bit slow and difficult.
Do you listen to radio stations?
Once in a while, I listen to you. I listen when I'm in Bassa. I listen to the radio station.
Okay. You think the media is doing better? You think we're trying?
Well, I think there's a lot of challenges for the media, especially now with the artificial intelligence coming. The content on the websites are going to be questioned and questionable. So we hope we look up to programs like these, that the radio station giving actual facts. So we believe that the future is bright for these kinds of programs to disseminate proper information.
Even though this is your second time in the Senate, you've been pro tem before, first amongst equal. But let me ask you, Senator Finlay, are you a regular politician? A politician, you know?
Well, I think I'm a regular politician, a little bit different from what you will see.
Okay.
I try to be objective. I try to address problems and issues that in a different way. And I, some people will say I'm not being political. Some people will feel that, in fact, some of my strong supporters say I should be in the church because of the manner in which I approach issues. But you see, we have to find solutions to problems, and those solutions doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be in fight. Sometimes you have to negotiate.
I think so. Okay, Senator Finlay, thank you so much. Now let's let's talk a little bit about the Senate. We'll end this thing in Bassa. What is your general impression about the current Liberian Senate, the composition of you, the senators, the way you're doing what you're supposed to do for us who sent you there? What's your impression?
Well, I believe that the Senate need to do more. I'm a senator, and I used to caucus with the opposition. Right now, I have made myself clear that I'm not going to caucus with the opposition. I'm not going to caucus with the ruling party. As you know, I'm an independent, but I'm going to look at issues that affect and benefit the people of Liberia, the people of Basso. So I think that we could do more than what we're doing.
For example?
Well, you see, some of the issues that affect the legislature is becoming more and more of a problem for the Senate. The Senate is part of is one house of the legislature that composed of two houses, and we need to be a bit more active in addressing some of the issues that affect the legislature.
Okay. Now, I think I'll ask you a particular question from the way you're coining your words. I'm looking at what you have not said yet. Now, what was your position in the impasse at the House of Representatives when the Senate took a decision?
Well, my position was clear. I don't mix my words. I don't believe the Senate should have taken sides. I think the Senate should have played the role of a big brother or a diplomatic role, because the time will come when you need somebody to step in that both sides will believe in to negotiate. And I thought we were too fast in recognizing one side. For me, I think it was an error on our part, and I made myself clear.
Did you make it
yes,
clear?
I did. I mean,
did you take a vote?
I did not.
I'm talking about you as a Senate. Did you take a vote on our decision?
Well, no, there was no vote on the decision, but the majority had their way. And so, you know, once the majority have come up with a decision, the minority will have the say, and we did have our say. There were a few
you think
senators.
You contributed to the impasse? You, the Senate, have you not taken side?
No, I think the Senate, you know, I was asked to chair a committee to negotiate with both sides. And during that process, we were undermined, we believe. And I believe that the process was not I wasn't given a fair chance to go out and do what I was supposed to do. And so as a result of that, that committee, which consists of 5 senators, became dormant. And the Senate didn't contribute to it at all, because this crisis started from the House of Representatives, and I don't see the Senate didn't play a role in that. However, the Senate could have played a role and could still play that role as mediator between both houses.
You're sounding bold. Who undermined your committee?
Well, I can tell you that we went to work, we met both sides, and we felt that there were senators that had taken side and was communicating with some of the members of the House of Representatives.
Okay.
And so as a result of that, we could not move forward because some of the representatives took a position and saw us as taking side.
What do you think, Senator Finney? You're no stranger to legislative politics. You've sat way over there before. If you were advising the both sides of the conflict or the generality of the Liberian legislature, what do you think is the way forward, even though the matter is before the court?
Well, I feel where we are today, the solution lies with the president and the court.
You think so?
There's no if and about it. The solution is, because this situation is affecting us greatly. You know, I travel a lot to some of these conferences, and I can tell you it's creating more of a problem.
The impression out there is bad?
It's very bad. I don't mix my words. It's very bad.
What role do you think the president could play now?
Well, you know, the issue of the Constitution says coordination. that coordination has to come from the executive. The executive is clothed with that authority to stabilize, maintain the peace and stability of the country. It's also clothed with the authority to negotiate investment and contracts. So when the country is being affected by a small political issue, the executive should step in, call both parties, and try to resolve it. Do everything in their power to resolve it. In this case, the court they have gone to court. So it's a litigating matter. It's a constitutional issue, which of course Article 2 of the Constitution gave the Supreme Court the authority to look at any dispute in this country and decide. And their decision must be final. So all citizens must accept the decision of the Supreme Court or the judiciary system.
Some of your colleagues argue on the basis of separation of
There's
power.
no separation of powers. Let's be realistic here. Where is the separation of powers? What does the Constitution say? Coordinate. So where is the separation of powers? The powers have to coordinate. No branch of government can exist by itself and deliver. It's not possible. It's just not possible. So when you say I got separate powers, yes, you have. The Constitution gave you separate functions. Your function is separate, and those separate functions must be coordinated to benefit who? The people, because the same Constitution says power is what?
Inherent in the people.
Correct. So what you call separation of powers? You're talking about a survival of a country. We can't talk about separation of powers.
There are others.
When one branch of government is not delivering, the other branch of government should basically what? Hold them to check.
Senator Finley, there are people who also argue that, people will have to be careful with the way they move about this whole thing about the legislative impasse. And a lot of people, some politicians, senators, representatives, lawyers too, think that the Supreme Court's opinion was ambiguous. The issue about what word the Supreme Court used? Ultra-virus, and everybody is claiming victory. They think the Supreme Court, had the Supreme Court been clear, this matter would have been history now.
Well, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a politician, engineer, farmer, if I want to classify myself, maybe partly diplomat.
Yeah.
I just don't feel that need to dive into that. The Supreme Court decision, they made a decision. It's a decision that only lawyers can interpret. My layman interpretation is different. And if you were to ask me, I went to the internet, I look up the word ultra-virus, what it said, what it means, and try to apply it to the existing situation. And when you do that, you know that the Supreme Court say you can do what you are doing, but do it under what the provision that is provided for your action. So that would be my interpretation.
Now, before we go to the situation in Basel and other Basel-related issues, are you willing to further state your position and advise the Liberian Senate right after the opinion on the Bureau of Information from the Supreme Court? You think there's still room for looking at your initial decision?
Well, yes, I think when the Supreme Court ruled on the Bill of Information, I came in Saturday night, so I don't know what transpired behind. But I think we'll have to sit down and discuss the way forward. There's always a solution. A solution can be found to this matter. There's nothing that you can't find a solution to. This is not super problem that one will say, look, we have so many issues that we cannot resolve. For me, I see nothing wrong with either decision from the Supreme Court, whether it's for or against. I think the legislature can find a solution to these issues and these problems.
Well, we have former President Pro Tem of the Senate, former Foreign Minister, Senator Gbesonga Finley. He's here as our guest. Let's move on to Grand Bassa County. the county you are representing at the Liberian Senate, second time. Initially, you were first amongst equals. Now, Senator Finley, as you drive into Basa every morning, as you drive out of Basa, having a picture beyond Buchanan, going into the butchers and talking to the different people, what's your vision for Basa's development?
Well, the first issue, when you say my vision, is basically to see how we can continue to educate the young men and women, both in the city and the rural areas. We need to find means that they can generate income, not necessarily having a particular job, but create a situation or create a county and where the citizens can generate income. To do that, you need to train our people. So that's one aspect of my vision, is to get the capacity built in the county, both in the city and rural areas. The second issue is, if you say driving into Buchanan and driving out of Buchanan, we would like to see the city, some of the structures in the main city route be changed. And that has to do with city ordinance. And we hope that the city ordinance will start to take effect, and the mayor would make a difference and start to do what the law says, or what his city ordinance says. So in terms of the physical appearance of the county or the city. Thirdly, we need investment. We need to get investment, that once we build the skills, we have to have the investment to be able to get some of the people who are not earning an income to be able to earn an income. So it's not a one-shot thing.
One-shot thing.
Yeah.
So, but what's your idea for this youth empowerment you're talking about? I don't know, in the form of what?
Well, first of all, we establishing a vocational training institute in all of the different districts, and those.
That's why you, as a senator, want to do.
Well, that's what I'm embarking on. We're doing the first construction already ongoing in District 1. Now, what it is that we're going to give them skills that are used in their community. We want to train people how to be mechanics for motorbikes, because it's a means of transportation. We want to train carpenters. We want to train masoners. We want to do what they call I don't know how you call it, but the fixing of hair, makeup,
cosmetology.
Correct. So that and sewing, so that you have these availability of these particular technical know-how in our districts.
Are there not existing structures and institutions in the county that you could just work with instead of creating or establishing new ones?
Well, we have to build in certain areas, because the structures that are there are basically for school, junior high school and high school, elementary school. So those facilities are used during the weekdays. So we have to basically provide the physical structures that is going to be specifically to train people in those skills. And so that's one of the things that we need to do. The next step is to train the trainers, which we are looking at sending 1 or 2 young men and women to get the skills that is needed.
Okay. Every time I go to Buchanan, as somebody who at some point grew up there too, as a matter of fact, what I notice is, in the main streets of Buchanan, some of the places, grass grow in the streets or on the streets, if you like. I know there was a time, I think last year, I took the whole show there and it was terrible. Does that worry you?
Yes,
the physical outlook of Buchanan?
Well, it is worrisome. We have a new mayor and who is faced with challenges. If you look at the budget, you will know that we're not putting money into our cities. Basa is a little bit blessed because we have funds coming from social development funds coming in. Now, what we're trying to do is to see how this new local government act has created a situation where You have the executive function with the county council making decisions on funding. You also have the new revenue sharing law. So where you have 40% supposed to stay in the county and 60% come to the national government. Now, when we apply those rules and regulations, it becomes a problem because the legislature can't say much. We have virtually almost nothing to say now except for approve the national budget.
You think so?
Well, yes, I know so, because that is what the law says. We might make some adjustment later on, but that's what the law says. So the law have given most of the responsibility and function to the county councils and the district
Okay,
councils.
you're talking about a local
development.
government act.
Local government act.
Okay.
Now, what we need to do, in the case of Buchanan, I know the mayor is struggling because he doesn't have resources. So now we're trying to find ways and means to help him get resources. And I can tell you, I went out to try to get him when he became mayor, to try to get him some funding. He did some cleanup work. We even made some small contribution to that process. But it's an ongoing struggle. The communities have to be able to step up to the plate to say, well, look, we're going to keep our community clean and start to do that. It's a difficult struggle for the mayor who doesn't have resources.
Okay. I know before you took over, before you won the 2023 election as a senator, during the Janji Bakwe or the CDC administration when Bakwe was superintendent, there was this issue. I remember on the same show, I had to call Janji, I had to talk to Matthew Fairplay, Joe, and one or two other presidents. There was this issue about yellow machines that was owned by Grand Bassa as a county, and at some point they say, "Oh, they're renting the machines." No, the other person keeping the machine. Do you have any appreciation of this whole yellow machine issue now?
Well, look, the yellow machines were bought, I think, somewhere in 2009 or so, 2009, 2010. And those machines, when Janji came in, basically were all down.
Okay.
And I don't believe that those machines, I know for the last 5 years, have not operated and did even 1 inch
of
roads. 1 inch. I'm saying yard, 1 inch. I challenge anybody to tell me. So those machines were basically,
they're outlived.
Complete. So we are looking at different ways and different means through which we can start to get into rehabilitating roads, maintaining roads. Saying that, I can say that Representative Banks of District Number 2 have brought in equipment.
Clarence Banks,
Clarence
I was praising him the other day.
Yeah, brought in equipment, and he's doing a wonderful job in his district. And all of us are not equal. And I think we need to understand Banks is doing his best, and we need to also give him credit for that. So we're looking at ways and means that we will be able to do some of the roads. I'm doing a road myself project, which is right around $35,000 in District 4, where we're along with Mr. Philip Pay and I doing that project. We're working on that project.
Who's Philip Pay?
Philip Pay is an entrepreneur in Bassa with Philomena Guest House.
Okay, the guy who owns Philomena.
Yeah.
Has he ran before?
No, he's not interested in running.
I'm just asking. I want to do one follow-up.
No, he hasn't. He's not interested in politics. He's a businessman.
He just want to help person like Finley.
He want to help his people.
Yeah. Even 2020 now, we're not seeing anything. I mean,
no, you will not see him.
Why are you talking for him?
Because I know this is somebody that I've worked with, that I know, and we have had extensive conversation. He's more of a humanitarian person.
Okay.
I mean, Philip is one of the businessmen in Bassa that basically would reach out. If you reach out to him, he will help.
One of the things, and I heard you talking about the young people, practically setting up vocational structures for them. One of the things that will make the young people in Buchanan happy is improvement in the environment at the Bassa University. Senator, what do you know about that bridge? Every year we talk about. When will that bridge get constructed? What do you know about it?
Well, you know, I think from the time they did the groundbreaking for that bridge, I knew that that bridge was in trouble. Um, the bridge has to be constructed. I can assure you that we have engaged the Minister of Public Works on where we are with the bridge, and I've been told that the bridge is on the schedule to be completed by the end of this year,
Okay.
and we look forward to seeing that um, construction start again, because it's a major hurdle for the university. You know, you can't develop, because even if you want to bring in visitors and visitors to cross that bridge, go and see whether they can invest or they can contribute to the university, has become more of a problem. But we're working on that.
You're working on that.
Yeah.
Now, there are other counties which they were like Bassa. You have a seaport. You have a lot of other facilities. Maybe, do you know why? I mean, you're not attracting investors into the country, Senator Finlay. A lot of people thought when you were pro tem, they said, "Oh, Bassa is going to be something else." What's happening? What's wrong? Are you not sitting as leaders and talking? Since 2003, we've had sensation hostilities here. Buchanan is still the way it is.
No, we are talking. The caucus is working very hard towards attracting investors. We have one or two investors lined up, and we hope that we'll be able to conclude with some of them by the end of this year. Between now and the end of this year, you know, we have the company that want to do. There's a company right now that is in talk, trying to do wood chip. We got companies that are interested in sawmill factory. We have companies that are in terms of logging, um, mining. So all of these things I will be attracted to Basso, and we hope that we get the Revenue Act, the new revenue law, which gave the 40%. So once that happens, once we start, that goes into effect, you know, you're talking, I don't know what the revenue portion is, because if I do a quick estimate, I'm looking at right around generating from Bassa, from the big companies, maybe about $6-7 million a year. So if we say 6 million, let's just take it to the lowest 5 million. 40% of 5 million, 4 times 5, that's about $2 million. $1.5 million that will stay in the county, that will be used for development projects.
Okay. All right, Senator, let's move on now. There is still this argument, and it depends on who you talk to, about the ArcelorMittal situation. They have a new deal, I'm sure, before the legislature. Quite recently, I was listening, a group of Bassa citizens endorsed it, they want it passed. What's your take?
Well, I mean, you know, Arcelor, first of all, I have to let you know that as a senator, Arcelor and I went to court prior to me becoming a senator. That matter is still before the court.
Oh, really?
And yes, and the issues that are filed on, they have made some significant strive in that direction. They've paid all their social development fund. They're billing the hospital in Bassa, construction, paying for that construction. And as a result of that, they're starting to do some work in the county. And so we, as a senator, I have to basically say to you that their performance is a little bit better than what it was prior to me becoming a senator. I have not seen the petition from the citizens, but Arcelor is a corporate citizen of Liberia, and they're contributing towards the budget, the revenue, and we have to be, tactical in what the agreement is. Not necessarily passing what they bring, or not necessarily agreeing with everything that they want, but we are waiting to see what is the executive position, because the legislature don't negotiate contracts. And I think this is where some of my colleagues don't understand. We can say yes or no, but once we say yes to what has the president have presented to the legislature, there's no changes. So if we want changes, we can reject it with recommendation that, look, no, because of X, Y, Z, we shouldn't pass it. And I have not read a final version of what the contract or the MDA will be, or those amendments that are needed. Until I can do that, I can't really say much because I don't know what is in it.
Even though you've not seen it to know what's in it, but for example, from your perspective, what do you want new, other than the ones we're using now?
Well, I think, for me, I think we need to move away from royalty to sharing, not profit sharing, because profit sharing, the person have to declare profit, but sharing the material. Okay. So if you, for example, if you extract 1 ton of iron ore, the government would take 250 kilograms. You got 75 kilograms, 750 kilograms. It's up to you to decide whether you want to buy our iron ore or allow us to sell our iron ore. That way we know what we own. Oh, okay. We're not waiting for you to declare your profit. And that's the model that I would like to see.
That's your idea.
Yeah.
We share. You take 750, we take 250.
Finish.
We can decide whether we sell our own to somebody or we sell it right back to you.
Or if you want to buy it, you buy it from us. But you're buying it from us at what? At a cost, maybe because you have some other thing, maybe at a cost of 90% of the world market price.
Is that best practice?
Well, my friend, it's not about best practice. It's about what we can get. How can we generate more revenue? How can we generate more money? Because you see, the issue of poverty, when we have so much issue with people complaining that we got so much resources and we're not benefiting from the resources. We're getting 3%, or 3%. I think it's going to 4 to 5% now royalty. And what is it? It's insignificant. I mean, it'd be big money, but we could get more.
It seems you've done a survey, and if it works the way you think it's supposed to work, we could get a lot of money.
Clarence, I chair the revenue committee. So when it comes to revenue, I chaired the revenue committee before I became pro tem also. So it's an area that I think I'm fairly comfortable.
You sit with a you see a lot of things.
So I think
is that what you're going to push? Will your colleagues understand you from that perspective?
Of course, I've been pushing that. I think that when you talk about $1 billion revenue envelope, I think we can even do 2 billion if we go into to really look at the resources we have and say, okay, these are the things that we need to. How can we improve rather than increasing the tax rate?
Somebody would say, but Besonga did not stand his ground when he was pro tem. He was first amongst equals. These are brilliant ideas. He had an eagle air in his hand. That time, he would have done it. History would have been kind to him. Now he's a senator. What more can he do, man?
Well, I think if you look at then and look at now, the situation was quite different. And when people want to compare history and time of history or what the activities at those different points. If you take us back to 1950, was it better in 1950 or better now? And the situation that existed in the 1950s is not the same. The population have grown, infrastructure is not the same. So when I was pro tem under President Salif, during the Salif administration, was very different. A country was coming and we needed to get investment into the country. In fact, I can tell you a story. There was one company, big one, that I held and said they were not going to get, because I was reviewing, I co-chaired the energy, lands, mines, and energy at the time committee. And my position was to review that contract with Senator Watterson being pro tem. And my position was clear. You're not getting no ratification. these are conditions that we don't agree with, so we're going to reject it. We're not going to ask you, we can't change it here because it's already negotiated by you and the executive, which is the constitutional business. But we are going to reject it because we have a problem with 1, 2, 3, which was in violation of certain codes and laws. I can tell you that was on Monday. We had that discussion. And by Wednesday, there was a whole different contract before the legislature with those changes. So it's not that we say we didn't do things. You know, I'm one of the people that don't talk. That's when people ask if I'm a politician. I don't do things and boast and brag about it. I let other people boast and brag about what I do, and I think that's the way we should be, because we are elected to serve.
You could be a major player in determining Bassa's senator in 2029. Am I correct?
Well, I'll say this. I think I have I won Bassa election 56,000 plus votes. Nobody in Bassa have gotten, in history of Bassa, have gotten that number. So I wait to see what 2029 will bring. But I can say to you, I will not sit in the back seat. I will not sit in the back seat in 2029.
Okay. Even though not a NEMA senator, but a senator of the Liberian Senate and a politician, are you playing any particular role in the NEMA by-election?
I'm not going anywhere around there.
Senator Milton Gbesanga Finlay is our guest on the OK Morning Rush. Let me take a break and play a promo. We come back here and we take to the line. He said, I am not going anywhere around there.
Nighttime talk shows just got a major boost. Coming Wednesday, April the 2nd, 2025, is the Nighttime Heat, bringing more credibility, balance, and professionalism to trending political, economic, social, and religious issues to the national discourse. The Nighttime Heat will be live on Prime FM 105.5 and some community radio stations from 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. initially on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The program will also appear on Facebook and YouTube channels. Sober George, a renowned talk show host and a Robin White trained broadcast journalist, along with his team of panelists, will take charge of the discussion every week. Remember what they say: if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen, because the Nighttime Heat promises to be explosive. The Nighttime Heat, a new talk show, starts Wednesday, April the 2nd, 2025. Join in the discussion.
Okay, let's take to the lines now. 0777-700-995-555, 026-995, and the other number. The first person on the line is Representative Walawuli Dixon Sibo of District 16 in Montserrat. Representative Sibo, let's hear you.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, sir.
And let me say good morning to my brother and friend, Gbesanga Finlay.
Good morning.
We share a lot of things in common, but besides that, the most important thing that he has raised, I don't want to mention all of the Capitol Hill issues that he spoke about, but I want to speak about the issue concerning the new contract of ArcelorMittal.
Okay.
ArcelorMittal as a company has not paid 1 cent in corporate tax since they came to the country. And the reason is because every year they will claim that they have paid profit. The model that has been used
every year they will claim they've not done what?
Made profit.
They have not made profit.
Okay.
They only pay profit tax when they make profit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The model that has been used across the globe, Angola as a case study, Botswana, I'm talking about in Africa also, Botswana as a case study, is what we call revenue sharing. And that's the model that Senator has just spoken about. And so, Senator, I want to give you my 300% support. When that deal reaches us, we are going to be clear that the only way that deal is going to pass is when we adopt that model of revenue sharing.
Right.
If they take 2 million, give us 500,000, you can buy it from us. And that's the only way we can grow our revenue, and that's the only way we can grow our country.
Correct.
If we depend on using the model of profit, it's not going to work, because as soon as they take our minerals, you know who they sell to? They sell to themselves. And they declare that they are not making profit because the cost of operation. So usually, at the end of the day, Liberia will not get one thing.
Probably this is so because that's the way the existing MDA is.
No, and so you must say we agree. But now, Senator Phil and myself, we are of the opinion that we should transition to the new model wherein we are going to share revenue. Whatever they take from our soil, just give us 20%.
Okay.
In terms of the minerals you take. And that's how we're going to shift the dynamic. We're going to copy that to every other MGA that's going to come in the future, so that we can develop our country.
Thank you, Dixon.
Thank you so much, Senator Phil.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Hello?
Thank you. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. My name will all be Kanga GM, and I want to say good morning to the political rabbi of Gambasa County, and from the Western Senate, the political hero of Baza. Thanks for your numerous contribution to our country, to see our country prosperous, and then also to your political, to your legislative intelligentsia. But do not think
Bossman, let's talk, man. Leave all those political things, please.
Okay.
Say what you want to say.
Thank you, Clarence. Thank you for making Ambassador proud and using the wisdom to unite the country, because this country will not prosper. As you said, seven half the bright is saying that to put the trickle to have this country united. And the feeling is the only politician in Ambassador country that would tolerate.
Thank you, Chief. Hello.
Good morning, President.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Prince David calling from District number 15.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to congratulate my Senator Lamar Smith from Grand Bassa County, respectfully.
Yeah.
However, Senator, I would like to give you this vision for our country, which is Grand Bassa County. Because right now, the seaport in the entire country, only one person is benefiting from super model, which is AT&T. I would like to give this vision that you people must be able to bring company to do transshipment, which is that people be doing continuous and all things that our citizens will be all the way.
Okay, so I will take two representatives back to back. Moima Briggs Menza is the first, and then Moima Briggs Menza mistakenly, I'll have to call her back. But then let me take Josiah Marvin Cole. Representative Cole, go ahead.
Yeah, Clarence, I want to say good morning, and good morning to our big brother, Senator Finley from Grand Bassa. You know, Senator, I listened to you, and you spoke about so many issues, but my attention and interest is in the legislative impasse. A former president of the Liberian Senate, I just want to throw this question to you. Do you think that there is a room that somebody like you at the legislature will not sit and watch the legislature crumble under your watch? Is it a room that you can mitigate peace, you can get involved ahead of the Supreme Court? Because no matter ends squarely in the court. Do you think that you can still use influence and influences at different levels to ensure that peace and stability return to the legislature? Because everything that you have discussed can only happen in an environment of peace, stability. Thank you.
Okay, Representative Cole, he's asking the former pro tem. Let's go to Moima Briggs Menza. Yep.
So thank you, Clarence. It's always good to be on your show. Let me say hi to my big brother, Senator Finley. May I admire so well. You know, the issue of concession in this country is very, very important to us. Because it hurt my heart when I hear President Trump and other people insulting us for 1.5 million and with the kind of resources we have. And that is why even the present revision of the concession that is ongoing in the House, I said this thing have to be done with everybody on the table. let's get the senators, let's get people from the executive, let the president get involved, let every one of us sit and see what's happening. Like other countries also, they have a monitoring agency. So like Clarence decide to have his company and sit with the government and say, if I raise the amount of money by monitoring your resources from the point of picking up and going to the end user and buying and coming with your money in the account and doing everything, maybe you give me 5%, 2%, 1%, that person also have created job for another Liberian. So the issue of looking this concession, the leakages are ongoing. It have to be hand on deck with every one of us sitting on the table. Not calling one concession company you talk to them today and tomorrow they think that they're going to get other means to come and talk to you and go free. If we don't do this thing, our generation will be judged tomorrow. Because this is important. We have the resources. Karen, we can take care of this country ourselves if we put our resources in the rightful perspective and take a lot of us thinking in this manner and let's just all put our act together and act on it fast and it will help. And I pray that this impact can be resolved, that we can come as one body and we all can sit together and work in the interest of the Liberian people.
Thank you. It seemed to me that most of the members of the House want peace now. The way they're sounding now, we're not taking any more calls. Senator Philly, let's come back.
Well, let me I'm about raise a cardinal issue, and I'm always available to find a solution. I'm a friend on both sides. Very good working relationship. I think if you look at the legislature and the Senate, I don't think any senator have crossed over to the House of Representatives like I have done. I've visited many of the representative offices, and on both sides of this issue. So I think I think there's a solution. I think we can find a solution. It may not be an easy one, but there's always room for dialogue and to solve these problems. Like I said, the Senate is the one that's supposed to be basically grabbing both groups and saying, look, sit down with us, let us have this discussion, because you can't work without us and we cannot work without you. It's like a marriage. And so for that marriage to work and in the interest of the children who are the citizens of Liberia, we need to sit down to the table, hold your feet to the table. What you agree to, we will ensure that that solution is going to be followed.
Yeah.
On the issue of this sharing thing, we have to change our mining laws.
Okay. Change our mining laws.
Oh yeah, we have to amend it. It has to be amended because you're talking royalty. Royalty not going to do anything, and the reason for the royalty is the old thing that Totman brought. Maybe then they were working because of some reason that the population, the demand was small. The demand now for social services is huge. It's huge. I mean, you got education, go to the schools, go to all the public schools. I can guarantee you, none of the public schools been painted by government money for the last 5 years. Benches are not there. Children are asked to pay for benches. Okay, I'm a product of the public school. Totma High demonstration in Basel. Okay, and so I know what we went through and how it used to be. Not anymore. It's not like that anymore. So yes, I think we should be more concerned about how we can generate more revenue for the country and plug all the leakages, as well as increase the base, the revenue base. And I've been struggling with double, but where you want to increase and
you mean the LRA, man?
LRA and finance, where finance holds policy. LRA is just an administrative arm. So finance is basically where the issue is, which is Minister Myers, and Gaff, of course, Gaffwan also, that we can find a way to see how we can get the policy from that royalty thing to profit sharing. Even the royalty, you don't know what the quantity that is being exported. It's a difficult thing to be able to determine that. So I think what we need to do is to basically change these laws on the books and make it a revenue code. Also needs to be a change because it also carries the royalty 4%. In fact, we did some work on it recently. But I think we need to add in some of these new ideas that are coming out. And if Dixon also on what Sibo said clearly, that is the new dispensation now around the world in the mining sector. The mining sector, the solid mineral, is different from your gas and gas and petroleum sector. So these are things that we need to be able to look at differently, with a different eye, in a different perspective, and different times.
Senator Finlay, it's always a pleasure, man. We will always call you. Our lines are open. Let's keep having these conversations that are healthy for our democracy and governance of the country, so our people benefit. Thank you so much for coming. Anything finally you want to say?
Well, I just want to say one thing. Clarence, the other day we heard about some $400,000 that the Basel Legislative Caucus took. That's not true. We have not received.
So you talk for Aslametal?
No, concerning the tailings, we're trying to negotiate the sales of the tailings.
Oh, the tailings, yeah.
So those are things that we are looking at, and there are people who have interest. And if you have interest, show yourself. But where I sit, I have no particular interest in anybody, but to make sure that we can lift. It's been sitting there for almost, I'm almost 50 years or so. It's been piling up. And so now we need to move it. There are resources there that can benefit the people of Basso, and we need it to benefit the citizens of our county.
Okay, former pro tem, former dean of the Liberian cabinet, and now Senator again for Grand Bassa County, Besonga Milton Finlay. He was our guest. Senator, thank you so much for coming. This is how we conclude this edition of the show.